My name is Guillaume Debaucher. I'm a Boeing 777 captain and major airline recruiter. The only way to succeed in airline selection with confidence is understanding what recruiters are actually looking for, which is not the same as guessing what they are maybe looking for. Think about this. The recruiter wants to hire you. So the first thing you need to know is what they are measuring. And they are measuring mostly the risk of hiring you. They have a checklist and your role is to help them tick items off. On average, 75% of applicants fail a major airline selection. Simply put, 75% of applicants simply do not understand the recruiter, and 50% still don't after several attempts because they repeat mistakes again and again. But when you do understand the recruiter, that's when the magic happens. We had, for example, this candidate who graduated during COVID. He'd previously failed Air France, which is traumatizing. He'd also failed the low-cost Irish airline selection without understanding why, and then he got turned down harshly at one more airline. Struggling with selections is tough. Worst of all, you see others pass and start to feel desperate. When I explained him what I thought had happened, and more importantly what the recruiter was actually looking for, I felt a weight fall off of his shoulders. He understood why he'd failed. It wasn't inherently him, but a matter of perspective. So he got on advanced interview course. He got invited by Eurowings and passed his first selection after taking the course. He described his experience this time as feeling relaxed, able to understand the group exercise and its dynamics, and to anticipate the next question at the one-to-one interview and answer with confidence. That's the level of confidence that you want to aim for your own selection. Preparation is another area of concern. A vast majority of candidates vastly underestimate the work they need to put in. They have a very shallow understanding of the challenges one is likely to face as an airline pilot. But if you want to become an airline pilot, you should have a really good idea of what the job actually entails. Also, their understanding of CRM, which for the most they've only seen during the MCC, so for a very short time, or not at all if they're cadets, is relatively scarce and lacking. Most have no idea how to intervene in case the other pilot is not performing as expected, for instance. They don't have a structured model for that. But if you understand all this, and if you have the right techniques, the techniques that experienced airline pilots use, and are articulate about it, then your conversation with a recruiter will be on a completely different level. If on top of that you understand their standpoint, you'll be ahead of the game. You'll intuitively know how to handle questions which would otherwise derail you and be able to anticipate them in real time. You'll finally get that job, materialize your dreams, and this feeling of success and validation is wonderful, trust me. Most people simply don't understand what the recruiter is looking for and make simple mistakes that eliminate them. Maybe you think, I don't need to know what the recruiter thinks because I'm an excellent pilot and I'm motivated and I'll be such a good addition to their team. As a recruiter, I saw good pilots make terrible mistakes at the interview that would not get them the job. I was ready to hire, but some of these mistakes resulted in an automatic fail. Most do the same mistakes time and time again until they finally understand what happens in the mind of the recruiter. It became very clear to me that the pilots who were an easy yes were the ones who understood exactly what I was looking for as a recruiter and had prepared adequately. The interview seemed easy from my perspective. It was shorter, it felt good, I could tick my checklist off, I had no reservation or comments whatsoever to add to the file or discuss with the committee. Obviously, I can't promise or predict that you will definitely get hired, but I do know that a selection is too big of an opportunity to live up to guessing what the recruiter is looking for. Now, I want to give you some simple and effective tips that will work instantly. I call this the 5 automatic fails. The 5 things that would get any candidate to fail if they had me as a recruiter, and likely if they had another recruiter too. And if you feel nervous or unprepared, we have a solution to show you how you can confidently nail your interview even on the first try. So giving you the 5 automatic fails is like a cheat sheet to you understanding what the recruiter is looking for. The 5 automatic fails is a bonus that I created for students inside of Advanced Interview Course version 2. But I want to link it to you below because I think that once you see how easy it is to understand the recruiter, that something will change inside of you right there and then. All you have to do is then to wait for that phone call, the one that says, congratulations, you passed. When can you start? I remember when I had mine and it was British Airways at the other end of the line. It was just wonderful, and that's all I wish for you. Now, you can find out about the 5 automatic fails through the link in the description of this video, and I will see you there.